Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Armageddon. Today we're going to be featuring a Brawl deck with Asmodeus the Archfiend as our commander, as part of our series of Brawl videos featuring commanders from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Asmodeus has a passive ability that at first seems like a drawback. While he is in play, whenever you would draw a card, you exile it face down instead, and you have to spend 1 mana to put all of the cards exiled with Asmodeus in your hand and lose that much life. However, he also has the ability to draw 7 cards for just 3 mana, although of course all those cards are exiled until you activate Asmodeus' ability to return them to your hand. So one way of looking at Asmodeus' abilities is to say that while he is in play, you can draw 7 cards for 4 mana, which is a great deal. To maximize our ability to draw lots of cards with Asmodeus, we are playing lots of ways of gaining life, especially those which also drain the opponent. Because Asmodeus is a 6-mana commander, we're also playing with a lot of ramp. So let's look at the deck, starting with our ramp. We have Chrome Mox and Dark Ritual to allow explosive starts. We also have most of the 2-mana ramp artifacts available on Arena: Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Guardian Idol, Mind Stone, Solar Transformer, and the Iron Crag. And as a mono-colored deck, we also get Jet Medallion to discount our black spells. At 3 mana, we can use Lantern of Revealing to look at the top card of our library, and if it is a land, we can put it onto the battlefield tapped. If not, we can leave the card on top, or put it on the bottom of our library if we don't want to draw it. Phial of Galadriel can gain additional life if our life total is low, and draw additional cards if we draw while empty-handed. Pristine Talisman gains 1 life when it taps for mana, while Relic of Legends can tap Asmodeus to add additional mana. Skyclave Relic can be kicked to make token copies of itself, while the Celestus can let us switch between day and night, gaining us 1 life and looting whenever we do so. Worn Power Stone adds 2 mana. Liliana of the Dark Realms technically doesn't ramp us, but she does ensure that we keep hitting our land drops and can act as removal in a pinch. Finally, the new Ring of the Lucy from Final Fantasy adds 2 mana and can pay 1 life to tap a non-land permanent. Next, we have our interaction. Lonely End can deal with either creatures or planeswalkers, and if we are on the draw, we also gain 3 life. Consuming Corruption deals damage to a creature or planeswalker and gains this life equal to the number of swamps we control, while Murderous Rider is a life-linking creature with an adventure, Swift End, that destroys any creature or planeswalker at the cost of 2 life. One Ring to Rule Them All destroys all non-legendary creatures on the 2nd chapter, while Phyrexian Scriptures is another board wipe saga, destroying all non-artifact creatures, while turning one of our creatures into an artifact on the 1st chapter. Ritual of Soot destroys cheap creatures, while Vraska's Contempt exiles any creature or planeswalker and gains this 2 life. Gix's Command has a number of modes to choose from, including destroying all creatures with mana value of 2 or less and making the opponent sacrifice their biggest creature. Shadow's Verdict exiles all cheap creatures and planeswalkers, including from graveyards, while Corrupt is basically a more expensive version of Consuming Corruption. Noxious Gearhulk destroys any creature, gaining us life equal to the toughness of the creature it destroyed, while Erebos' Intervention can be cast for X, killing a bigger creature and gaining us more life the more mana we sink into it. Finally, March of Wretched Sorrow can be cast at a discount if we exile black cards from our hand when we cast it, dealing X damage to a creature or planeswalker and gaining us that much life. Next, we have our life gain enablers: Sanctum of Stone Fangs, Curse of Leeches, Dogged Pursuit, Ill-Gotten Inheritance, and Sinister Monolith all drain the opponent for 1, and some of them have additional effect. Trespasser's Curse enchants the opponent and drains them for 1 whenever a creature enters under their control. Underhanded designs can drain the opponent when artifacts we control enter, and we have some equipment to go along with all of our ramp artifacts to enable it. It can also be sacrificed to destroy a creature if we control 2 or more artifacts. Revenge of Ravens drains the opponent for each creature of theirs attacking us or our planeswalkers, while Polluted Bonds drains the opponent whenever they play lands. Storm Markov can immediately lower the opponent's life total to 10 when we play him, and his plus ability deals 2 damage to any target while gaining us that much life. Phyrexian Fleshgorger is a massive threat with Menace and Lifelink that can be cast for cheap with its prototype cost, while Exsanguinate can drain the opponent for a lot of damage if we can ramp into it. Next we have our equipment, as well as other ways of giving our creatures lifelink. Reaper's Talisman drains the opponent for 2 if we attack with only 1 creature, and gives the creature it is attached to Death Touch, while Basilisk Collar gives the equipped creature Death Touch and lifelink. Shadow Spear gives the equipped creature lifelink and trample, and has an activated ability to make opposing permanents lose hexproof and indestructible, while Mask of Grizzlebrand gives the equipped creature flying and lifelink. The new Buster Sword from Final Fantasy does not give lifelink, but it substantially buffs the equipped creature, and if the creature equipped with it hits the opponent, lets us draw a card and cast a spell from our hand for free. Finally, Whip of Erebos gives all our creatures lifelink, and can return creatures from our graveyard to the battlefield to get in and attack. Next, we have our alternate win conditions, most of which deal damage to the opponent whenever we gain life, including Starscape Cleric, which can be cast with Offspring to create a token copy of itself to double its damage triggers, Vito the Thorn of the Dusk Rose, Enduring Tenacity, which if killed returns to the battlefield as a non-creature enchantment, and Sanguine Bond. Exquisite Blood gains us life whenever the opponent loses life, and forms an infinite combo with the previously listed cards that damage the opponent whenever we gain life, while Witch of the Moors makes the opponent sacrifice a creature and returns a creature from our graveyard to our hand at the end of our turn if we gained life. Our final category consists of our card advantage. Importantly, none of these cards causes us to draw cards, but instead put cards into our hand, which circumvents our commander's passive ability. Dark Confident, reprinted in Final Fantasy, puts an extra card into our hand on our draw step at the cost of life. Meanwhile, we can play Necropotence on turn 1 with a Dark Ritual, and it causes us to skip our draw step so that we can pay life to put cards into our hand. Sorin the Mirthless makes lifelinking flying vampire tokens, and can put the top card of our library into our hand at the cost of life, while Twilight Prophet puts an extra card into our hand and drains the opponent if we have the City's Blessing. Finally, Professor Onyx can act as removal, drains the opponent with her passive Magecraft ability, and can put the best of the top 3 cards of our library into our hand. Our mana base is mostly basic swamps, with Fabled Passage and Prismatic Vista to search them up. There's also Cabal Stronghold and Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, both of which can add additional mana, and we have a number of utility lands as well. Castle Lochthwain and Bonder's Enclave for card draw, Hive of the Eye Tyrant as a creature land, and Takenuma Abandoned Mire to return a creature or planeswalker from our graveyard to our hand. We also have the new Adventurer's Inn from Final Fantasy, and Radiant Fountain to gain life, Plaza of Heroes, and Tyrite Sanctum to protect our commander, and Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, which turns all our lands into swamps, which works with a couple of our spells that care about how many swamps we have in play. So that's our Asmodeus deck. Now it's time to take it into the queue and play some games. On the draw, only 2 lands, and no ramp, So I think this is a mulligan. Facing Baator, Ancestor's Voice. So life gain, life loss synergies. I'll take our free mulligan. I do have 3 lands, but I still don't have mana acceleration. So I think we go to 6. Alright, this is better. Shadow's Verdict could be good in the matchup. Although we're going to have to send something to the bottom. Could be Basilisk Collar. I think it is Basilisk Collar. You probably want the interaction. And Jet Medallion discounts your Hulk Verdict. And then I wouldn't mind drawing one of my card advantage engines to help make up for having to go down to 6. Opponent leads with Swamp. Alright. I think I'm happy playing Flesh Gorger on 3. Alright, now we can play Liliana of the Dark Realms on 3. So we can hit our land drops. Opponent off to a pretty slow start.
Ruining your day is going to feel great. Witness my power.
Alright, then I think it's Celestis Flesh Gorger.
Watch me work.
Now the only problem is that Shadow's Verdict will exile Flesh Gorger since we cast it for its prototype cost. I think we can afford to let Liliana
I missed
take
an
one.
opportunity here.
Shadow's Verdict does not get rid of Elenda. Liliana getting rid of Elenda actually seems like a pretty good idea, because then they won't make any life-linking vampires.
decided you're in my way.
Then we'll hold Flesh Gorger back. Wind Crystal is fine.
I've decided I'm going to win.
Alright, so opponent is probably going to discard a card to make a pest token. Opponent does not. Full Warden.
You think you're so tough. I command death itself.
Alright. Opponent takes it. And then I think getting rid of Soul Warden with Noxious Gearhulk seems a bit excessive, but getting another menace creature down seems pretty good, and getting rid of Soul Warden seems nice. And I don't think I want to Shadow's Verdict away Flesh Gorger just yet. Alright. That was actually fine. That got Shadow's Verdict, I mean, their Teferi's protection out of the way. Looks like opponent's going to draw a card here. And that's enough for opponent. We were going to activate Asmodeus' ability to draw 7 cards, and then put them into our hand during our upkeep end of turn. So we were going to refill our hand and be able to take over with our card advantage. So I think we were in a pretty good spot. On we go. Alright. Phineas Ace Archer probably playing a lot of Heir Apparent. If I had a board wipe in this hand, I would feel particularly good about it. But I don't think I can turn down a hand with ramp and 3 lands. Opponent mulliganing here. Interesting. Hardened Scales. And then I think we play Sanctum of Stonefang's Underhanded Designs, because I've got 2 artifacts I can use to trigger Underhanded Designs with next turn. So opponent going for some +1/+1 counter synergies, which makes sense with Phineas. Alright, land is good, because that means we'll be able to play Asmodeus next turn. And then we'll play Sinister Monolith, trigger Underhanded Designs. Laporte Scout. Alright, I guess opponents felt they were falling too far behind from all the drain effects. I'll take it. On we go. On the draw. Facing Liliana, so this could be tough, but we do have plenty of ramp, including Chromox, which means we can play a turn 1 Guardian Idol. And then what to pitch? Could be Shadow's Verdict. We've got another draw step before we have to make that decision. I think it is Shadow's Verdict. We've got plenty of other interaction, and I like the idea of ramping out Polluted Bonds. think we play Polluted Bonds first, and then Asmodeus. Mono Black has very few ways of answering enchantments. We'll take 2. Shadow's Verdict looking better than I expected it would. Sinister Monolith, but I think we get Polluted Bonds down here. Opponent missed their land drop, and now Polluted Bonds is going to seriously punish them. They've got Iridescent Vine Lasher. Can I play Underhanded Designs and Sinister Monolith and pay for Underhanded Designs? I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, so yes I can. Opponent's still missing land drops. Alright. Now the only downside is opponent could have a fair amount of removal in hand. Actually, I guess I should have drawn a card because I wouldn't have had to discard it because it would have been gone under Asmodeus here. Alright, I think we want to march the rock color. So we have to do x equals 3. Can I play the Iron Crag and cast March for 3? I can. I'll have to decline. I think I should attack with Asmodeus just in case opponents got removal. Alright, this time I'll remember. Oh, now I have to discard a card, because I've got cards in hand, but I don't mind discarding a land. Necropotence, my life total is a bit low. I think I still want Iron Crag for ramp. Vampire Nighthawk is fine. I can destroy it with underhanded designs. And then I think I don't want to play Necropotence until I've at least got another set of cards from Asmodeus. Alright, that was great. So opponents, we gained 12, because opponent took 6, and then we gained another 6 off Exquisite Bond. And then, end of turn, if opponent doesn't remove Asmodeus, we can draw 7 cards and then put them in our hand. Exquisite Blood working well with Polluted Bonds as well. Alright, we'll draw 7. And we might as well draw... Alright. And then Enduring Tenacity... And that's it. We have our infinite combo, exquisite blood, enduring tenacity. Alright. On we go. On the play, the draw, facing presumably elementals. I've got Dark Ritual, so I could play the Celestus on one. If I wait until turn 2, can I play both the Iron Crag and the Celestus? I believe I can. I'll have 1, 2, 4, yes. On mulligans. And then I would imagine a Ritual of Soot or One Ring to rule them all would be pretty good. So all of their creatures are elementals. Tropical Island is a forest island. What did they pitch? They just pitched to land. And then we drew land 4, so we'll be able to play Asmodeus on 4. Ornithopter of Paradise. So they could play Omnath next turn. They don't attack. They play the Water Crystal. Not sure why an elemental deck would want to play Mill. And the Water Crystal, not very good since they only have one card in hand right now. It does discount their blue spells, that may be the main reason they're playing it. And then if they play Omnath, they'll have 3 elementals, so they won't be able to remove Twilight Prophet. I can march for 2 if I pitch Exsanguinate. Alright. I could get rid of one of their creatures right now. Now it's Omnath that deals damage, so I can also respond to the trigger and remove Omnath with March of Wretched Sorrow. And then if I don't cast a spell, it'll switch to night, triggering the Celestis. But I kind of like my hand, so I don't think I'll draw and discard. Alright, there's Omnath. So we'll march. I can X equals, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let's keep the Iron Crag for ramp. Alright, so I mean, opponent could have some bounce spells for Asmodeus, which would be pretty good. Opponent replays Omnath, so they can kill my Prophet. There's not much I can do about it this time. They target me. I think they should have targeted the Prophet. Alright, we've reached the city's blessing, so Twilight Prophet is active. And then I've hit my land drop, so I don't think I want to draw 7 and then put them into hand until end of turn. And then I don't want to attack with Asmodeus because they could trade with Omnath Sabotender. Alright, don't mind opponent chumping. Alright, don't mind them activating the Water Crystal. Sure, we'll mill a card. No, that's weird. Oh, of course, I forgot it's mill that many cards plus 4 instead. Those would have been nice. Alright, so I only have 3 swamps, so Corrupt not looking great. But I can play Professor Onyx. force opponent to sacrifice Omna. Nope. Well, opponent obviously doesn't want to deal with my having drawn a fresh hand ready to go for my turn. Alright, on we go. On the play, I think this is the first time we've been on the play. Would have preferred 2-mana ramp, but I don't have that much 2-mana ramp that I can always consistently have one in my opening hand, but having a ramp card in my opening hand is good enough. I've got March for some interaction, Professor Onyx can answer Atraxa, so I think we'll try it. And we'll play Skyclave Relic on 3. I'm not going to try and hold on until I can play it for 6. Corrupt. Burnished Heart. Chromox. I think we get rid of Burnished Heart to keep them from ramping. I can do that for x equals 4. Don't need to pitch a black card. We'll have to let them make a treasure. Drawing the swamp was good because now Corrupt can deal with Atraxa. And then Professor Onyx is good because her ability gets around Smothering Tide. Asmodeus, on the other hand... Oh no! Asmodeus also gets around Smothering Tide, because when you draw the cards, they get exiled, and then you return them to hand, so you're not drawing them.
You really want to fight me?
And then I want to draw something I can pitch to Chromox, so I can pay for Smothering Tide and then still play my commander. Unseeming Corruption, I also don't mind.
I have
So I don't
impeccable
actually
study
want to
habits.
pitch either to Chromox. And I will have 7 mana. No, it's 2, so I do have to pitch one of them to Chromox if I want to pay for Smothering Tide and still play my commander. I think we'll pitch Revenge of Ravens.
Well
Get rid of
done.
a
Looks
Shia.
like you flunked out. Mwah.
And then I think end of turn. And then I think we cast Corrupt. I could also Consuming Corruption, because that lets me draw 7 cards and then return cards with Asmodeus into my hand end of turn. I think I want to hit land.
I never thought I'd miss the library.
Alright. Opponent casts Primal Command. It's Railway Brawler. Alright, Enduring Tenacity, Curse of Leeches is lethal. Actually, so is Adventurer's In. Actually, no, I need, sorry, I need Exquisite Blood. And that's enough for our opponent. Alright. So that was our Asmodeus deck. So I think we figured out a pretty good way to work around what is normally a weakness of Asmodeus, which is the fact that you don't draw cards and instead they go into exile and you have to pay life. We found ways to work around it with our card advantage engines, and then gaining the extra life helped us. And as you saw, it was very powerful to draw 7 cards with Asmodeus and then put them into hand end of turn so that we'd have a fresh hand of 7 cards ready to go for our next turn. So I think if you build the deck right, Asmodeus can be an effective commander. He is a bit pricey and susceptible to removal, so that is one downside. But if you can untap with him, he's a pretty good to go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to see another commander from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms or from another set, maybe the new Final Fantasy set, let me know in the comments. Thanks again, and have a good one. Bye.